Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. I can't believe they're giving us manga in this format. It's insane. And it's still ongoing.
Hi all you Mentees, this is Tik Tok Tina. Welcome to Near Mint Condition, home of the collected editions. Today, I'm going to be talking about Pet Shop of Horrors from Seven Seas. Alright, welcome back everybody. We're looking at Pet Shop of Horrors. This is the cover. It is collector's edition number 1 by Matsuri Akino, released by Seven Seas. Originally, this was released by Tokyo Pop. I'm so glad it is back in print because it's been out of print for a while, a hot minute. This is the spine here. And then, of course, we've got the back cover here. And you can see that it's slightly oversized compared to like a regular tankobon here. So slightly oversized, excellent. Now the retail price for Pet Shop of Horrors Collector's Edition 1 is $24.99. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this together. All right, so let's actually get into this book. This is 304 pages. Of course, we have the front. Unfortunately, no color pages, but we do have chapter, I guess, covers. And you also have your chapter indexed here with the mascot of Pet Shop of Horrors. We encounter Count D, who is, I guess, taking over this pet shop for his uncle. At least that's what he claims when he meets his customers who are looking for unique pets, either due to certain circumstances in their life or feeling some type of loss from a loved one, or maybe just needing something a little extra in their life. And there's always something a little bit different about these pets. Of course, Count D is very clear to these people. These are only pets. These are simply animals, despite their appearance to certain people. The very first story involves a bird that a woman purchased. And of course, it's not very bird-like. It doesn't look like a bird to her or to some others. It is a horror manga, or at least suspenseful, so it is suggested for older teens, so be aware of that. There are some situations that are a little bit risky for younger readers. Oh, I loved this art. Now, when I originally read it, it was much smaller in the tankobon version, so I'm very happy to see that we've got a slightly larger format. There has been some retranslation done on this, so be aware it's not exactly the same as what it was translated back with Tokyo Pop, which is fine. We still get the same meaning. There's a few parts that are slightly different verbiage, but it flows and still feels like the same manga that I was reading back with Tokyo Pop. We do have a couple chapters in here with different characters. We have some revolving characters that do appear. So we meet a detective that is highly suspicious of Count D. He is very interested in why certain murders happen, why disappearances are going on, and why people end up dead when they meet Count D. Now, this is one of those mangas where certain people do get their comeuppance, but sometimes good people don't ultimately have a happy ending in this, or at least what you suspect is good people. So sometimes you might want to give your child something or spoil your child, and this really tells you like these are bad behaviors and something's gonna come up. So one of the very first stories and one of the animated stories that pulls from this manga is in this collection with the rabbits. I don't want to give you too many spoilers, but it was one of the things that really got me hooked with Pet Shop of Horrors, where he basically gives a rabbit to a couple that had just recently lost their daughter, and the neighbors are like, oh, they treat that rabbit like their own daughter, and something very bad happens to that couple. No spoilers. Read it for yourself. Tell me if you enjoyed that story as much as I did. And one of the stories that I honestly didn't remember was this one right here about this gambling guy who finds this sweet little lucky kitten. And he actually doesn't have a horrible ending, not to spoil too much about it. It's a really well-rounded, like, you may want something or think you wish for something, but do you ultimately really want what you wish for? Because sometimes you find that you had something that you wanted all along and you didn't need any of that extra stuff. So there are sweet stories in here, but it does have a lot of sort of like mystery. It's sort of this sort of fantasy horror kind of element. Creepy, just sort of that nice 80s, 90s vibe. So at the back of the book, we do have a little bit of extras. There sadly are no colored pages, which is one thing that I am missing with this. The pages themselves are a slightly thicker, non-glossy, but a really nice sort of matte feel to them. Nice and thick. We get the catalog here for Count D, which is kind of unusual. If this is a pet catalog, I don't know why Count D is there, but I guess he's an owner, so we'll start with him. And it goes through the pets that we actually meet in their actual pet format. So we've got the basilisk or lizard. We've got a story about him. We've got dogs going on. So we've got the Doberman, which is one of my favorite stories. They're pretty much really, really good. Although I like the lizard story, I think my favorite is probably the guard and the cat. I'm a little partial to cats, as you might know. So, Lady and Cats. It also goes through like a little side story that was included about a dragon egg. And then we've got these little comments and little cartoon images or little comics from the creator. We also have a little corner from the mangaka, which is always nice. You kind of get their insight on what they were thinking at the time they drew this. It's really nice to see their artwork and just sort of like hear their thoughts, how they came about the title, and, you know, what inspired them. And then the very back is upcoming manga for 7 Seas. It's always nice to see what's coming out soon if I didn't hear about something. And then the very end sheet, we see it's printed in Canada. And that is my overview of Pet Shop of Horrors Collector's Edition #1. I'm Tik Tok Tina, and please, guys, we do TikToks. Check us out on TikToks. Follow us here. We really appreciate it. And that, as they say, is that. If you're interested in checking out this book, please do not forget to check out our sponsor.
CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more.
And that was my overview of Pet Shop of Horrors. Are you currently reading this? Have you read this in the past? What do you think about it now? And are you checking out any other titles from 7 Seas? I'm interested. Like, 7 Seas has been really killing it lately with some of these collected editions and other mangas. I want to know if there's something that you found interesting that I should look into, because I'm all ears and I freaking love manga. So let us know down below.